Autobots, it's time to wreck another piece of the city. I mean, save another piece of the city.
Why is this bridge so long? We were on that bridge for the entire episode. Entire previous episode.
No, we weren't. No, we
More
weren't.
than half of it.
We were on. Oh, true. We were on one part of the bridge, then a broken part. And oh, Starscream, you're so stupid. Also, that could have blown us all up. Like seriously, could have destroyed us all.
Okay, I understand where this game is set now.
Yes.
I'm waiting for you to segue. Like, where is it set? And then I answer. Basically, it's set in the DC cinematic universe.
Oh.
We were just in Metropolis. We crossed a bridge over a lake, and now we're in Gotham City.
Yeah, well, maybe we'll run over some supervillains. Honestly, that's always something where I wonder in like the Batman mythos, how nobody in the asylum or Batgate or whatever has just snapped and just killed some of the supervillains.
Yeah, I mean, there are 10,000 Batman canons, so there probably have been a million versions of that happening.
Well, you'd think just like maybe the one where it does happen isn't very well written or something. But the thing is that
was this part of the city already destroyed? Why was it already destroyed if there was nothing here?
What do you mean?
The thing they're searching for just came over here. So why is the city already destroyed and filled with machinery?
Oh no! Remember, what's it called? The fair attack. Yeah, basically the Proud Star is still trying to cyberform the place and with the insecticons. So yeah, they've already gotten to this place.
Oh, so basically, I mean, that makes me more confused as to why these cities haven't been nuked yet. They're just like, our only hope is you, Autobots, and they're on one side of the city. All of them are on one side of the city, while another city has already been terrorized.
I mean, these aren't the only 5 Autobots in the show, but of course they're treated as the only ones until Defensor and Superion show up after the credits, and I'm like, where were you? We needed your help. Also, I make a terrible blunder in this situation because you're supposed to outrace Motormaster, but I defeat him, so I get some extra weapons and everything. So I think I'm cruising along pretty and can get all these collectibles. But there he is! So yeah, if you leave him alone long enough, he'll just get back into the race. Of course, I think, oh, whoa, maybe I can get double prize for him. But that might prove to be my undoing.
Is he the only Decepticon that's a truck?
No. Most Decepticons are planes, but seriously,
and military
I really should have just kept going.
And stuff like that. Well, for absolutely no reason, Autobots are cars and really lame, weak vehicles that have no...
Well, no, Autobot... The thing is that... And just because I didn't get to that point, I lose. She's like, we're at the same place, come on! But the thing is that Autobot... It's more shown in Transformers Animated, but it's a moot point. Well, not a moot point. It's a general point of theory. Autobots are robots in disguise, but they generally want to be around in public to, be at places where they can help. Decepticons just want power, so they're war vehicles, and they're planes, which means that they can stay in the air and keep surveillance and still attack, and people will be none the wiser.
That makes sense. I completely forgot about their... It's like forgetting that the show is called Friendship is Magic, and saying rather being so friendly all the time. But that's how dumb my statement was.
And in Transformers Animated, it specifically put out that the Autobots are just obviously with the whole civilian vehicles thing. It's the Autobots in Transformers Animated go into this concept where they specifically are. They don't have weapons programmed into them. They usually have weapon attachments. However, the Decepticons are way stronger, usually way bigger, and have weapons built into them, which is why they're so dangerous. Because for a while, Transformers Animated focuses on human villains with advanced technology, but when a Decepticon shows up, everything gets serious.
It's an interesting choice. I mean,
Yeah,
it's Transformers Animated. First of all, that sounds like a unique set of plots compared to the regular bunch of series. But
yeah,
it's Transformers
it's
Animated
unique
like
because
set in a future Earth.
Yeah, it's set in a future Earth where basically that's the only reason why the Autobots can both be in disguise and robot mode without any big problem, because they think that they're just like really advanced helper robots from either a big corporation or the government or something.
Yeah, what were you about to say?
I was saying that also in Transformers Animated, they specifically talk about how the Autobots already won the war, and so they basically have control over Cybertron right now, but the Decepticons are like a rogue, or like still just like a faction under Megatron that's like in hiding for a bit, but still like almost like a rebel force, but actual evil rebel force.
So this is a decidedly different plot. It tries to be different in every way it can, which seems good.
Yeah, because even in that one, Optimus Prime, Primes are usually the people for the Autobots that are just like totally in charge. But in that continuity, Prime is basically like a captain. By the way, this is totally awesome going on, but yeah, whatever.
Yeah, I'm definitely paying attention to how cool it is.
Yeah, and just like how I ended it, so amazing. Being a prime is like being like a captain, and so there are people above you. There are multiple primes. So Optimus Prime in this case isn't this all-knowing leader, but so he's still very well versed in stuff, but he's just like a starting out captain of a different crew of Autobots. So it's quite interesting how it starts out, especially since there are other primes that he might clash with ideals with, like Sentinel Prime, whom nobody likes, among other things. So honestly, I'd have to say, oh hi Insecticons, didn't see you there. Well, actually I did, but after a while. But I'd have to say that Transformers Animated is one of those shows where people really didn't like it. It's basically, how do I put it?
It's Benton
It's
Omniverse.
basically the Be Cool. It's Benton Omniverse, Be Cool, Scooby Doo, Pokemon Sun and Moon.
Where people they dismissed it because of the art style, without realizing that the animation is better. Well, the animation is more fluid.
Well, actually, about that, the thing is that the animation is still, for a lot of the series, is still pretty basic. So it's nothing to explicitly like write home about. The animation is still pretty basic. The art style, especially for the humans, is really weird, and everything's way more obviously 2D. And just like it's a more comedic added.
Basically, the art style turned them away from the quality of the show, though.
Yeah, and the fact that it was marketed a bit more for kids.
Yep.
At the point where Transformers fans were like, growing up, or at least the ones who got started out with Armada were like teens.
It probably came after a series that looked semi-serious as well.
Yeah, the Transformers Unicron trilogy, which was this whole huge thing, with very deep story, even though Transformers Energon is a piece of garbage. But yeah, with a whole deep story and everything. And then Animated came out and everyone was like, what the heck is this?
And it happens so often. I think because, like, Mystery Incorporated was followed by Be Cool Scooby-Doo. Except, after you go serious, you're pretty much you can't do serious again. Your whole thing is to go a bit more casual, but be more like unique with your storylines, go in a completely different direction, which is what Sun and Moon did after X and Y. Benton Omniverse did after. Like, it seems to be a pattern.
Technically, if you think about it, that was something happened where, like, with the 13 Ghosts of Scooby-Doo, and then they're just like, okay, we tried to do like something really just like serious here, to an extent. Pup named Scooby-Doo time.
Oh yeah.
Which is more of a satire of how things happen in the series now that I think about it.
Yeah, Pup named Scooby-Doo was probably the most meta. Well, second most now. Well, actually, probably.
Be Cool Scooby-Doo doesn't sound like it's meta, more like it just has a different type of humor.
Yes, Be Cool is, well, okay. The thing about, okay, it's difficult. Okay, I wouldn't call Be Cool meta, because they just decide to go in a completely different direction with Daphne, first of all. So she isn't commenting on how she used to be, so she's just different. Fred is more or less always meta. Like every Fred in every version of every modern Fred is meta. So it's hard to really say that this unique to this Scooby-Doo, because it's every modern Fred from a Pup named Scooby-Doo onwards. And then Shaggy and Scooby. Well, maybe Shaggy and Scooby are meta. Maybe. I haven't watched it in a while.
Also, I hold that thought. I need to explain this. Screw the protect Wheeljack missions. Though I think that honestly, they can be mitigated if I maybe gave some of the advanced weapons that I developed to the other Autobots.
Is this basically a tower defense?
Sort of. Now that I think about it, if I because I'm only playing as Optimus Prime, and so I only bothered giving good weapons to him. I think that maybe the other Autobots, whenever we do group stuff like this, are actually weaker. I may be wrong about that, but I think so, and so it's to my downfall.
It's basically Mario Tennis Advanced Power Tour, where some idiots will not give their partner any points and make them level up.
No, here's the thing. I was recording Mario Tennis earlier, like the original, and holy crap, that game is like, I love Advanced Power Tour to death, but I have to say the game's not very hard, especially if you know what you're doing. But the original Mario Tennis will kick you to the curb, kick you to space, because here's the thing, in Mario Tennis Power Tour, after I knew what I was doing, nobody got more than maybe 2 games off of me. Maybe the Mario characters got 3, but in all the whole stuff of the sets, just nobody got more than 2 generally, if I ever even let them get that far. Here, I'm struggling to keep up because Spike, with his physics-defying drop shots, they don't make any sort of logical sense how the ball curves at nearly 70 degrees. And then there's Emily, who's the fastest thing alive.
Second fastest.
There's so much. Yes, of course. How dare I mock the Eggman by insinuating? But now there's suicide bombing Wheeljack after I can't protect him.
A big part of it is probably that mobile games have to be made a little bit easier because they're portable. It's not like you'll be able to well, I'm not sure. I feel like there's probably a thing about
because Mario and when I beat Mario Tennis, I'm talking about the Game Boy Color one, you know.
Oh, because I was wondering what you were talking about. Did you mean the N64 version? Was there a SNES version I've forgotten about? I was wondering.
I'm talking about the Game Boy Color. Basically, Power Tour was a remake of that game, but it was so stressing.
I mean, aren't there no power shots in the Game Boy Color Mario Tennis?
Yeah, there are no power shots there. Oh, by the way, another combiner, which just basically looks like more cars just plastered onto Motormaster. But meet Menasor, who is voiced by some guy, basically in the new Transformers series. He's voiced by some weird. I mean, I don't think the guy itself is weird, but the voice they give him is so incredibly unfitting. Because they're voiced by YouTubers. But it's so incredible. The guy who does this is just. It doesn't sound right.
He just transformed into 4 cars.
I don't know who he is, and I'm. Wait, what?
He just transformed into 4 cars.
No, he just separated himself and then reconstituted himself quickly. Because if you looked at the creation sequence, he's actually created from the Stunticons. But in this game, each Stunticon isn't given any focus, just Motormaster. So yeah, they're just glorified power-ups for the transformation. They don't get any dialogue or personality. Which, considering this is G1, that's to be expected for many of these episodes.
It's trying to be unique. Not unique, it's trying to be authentic.
Yeah, well, this is where the battle really starts. This is one of the just like a huge difficulty spike boss. Like
I was going to say that it's a thunderstorm. Does lightning ever strike? And I'm like, I guess that's my answer.
Oh, it strikes twice, thrice, just so much, and I'm caught in a hurricane, and I can barely do anything. And holy crap, this is like so awesome, but I'm also not doing well.
It's so awesome, but I'm not doing well defines my gaming experience.
Says the person who plays mostly simple games.
Oh yeah. I was enjoying everything until I remember that I have to actually finish Ultra Sun and Moon.
Yeah, well, I don't. Look, man, just tear it off. Just tear off the band-aid real quick. I think. Oh wow, one hit and that amount of that. Okay, all right. I was doing okay for a minute. Just like, okay, Menasor, can you just like calm down for a minute, please?
I'll be perfectly honest. This is the 11th part. I'm not sure if I've ever seen your health bar.
What?
I'm not sure if I've ever noticed that. I was just like, oh, this fight, I wonder when it's going to end. I don't think I've ever seen either of those health bars before.
Yeah, well, you should have noticed this time because I pulled up a clutch.
Yeah, it was real close. It was basically a Mega Man fight.
Yeah, I love this. It's just like, you're the guys that are going to get the ball to play with today.
That sounds like something that would make players angry. Like,
well, the Decepticons constantly pull this kind of stuff, but Starscream's like, yeah, I'm part of this. Just like, I brought it over here. But Megatron is not having any of Starscream's incompetence for right now.
Oh, so you're just going to? Oh, you don't spend that much time in the city at all, then? We're going to go to space.
Yeah, we go to Cybertron.
Oh,
by the way, Starscream says this all the time, but in this game he doesn't have an actual plan, so it just seems to fall flat. Even though we know this is Starscream's character, because of how and where it's stated, you think that somewhere Starscream is going to like hatch a betrayal plan, but he doesn't do so. I mean, it's not like Starscream betrays Megatron every episode.
Yeah, that'd get old. That'd be like Candace trying to bust her brothers every single episode with no variation for 4 or 5 seasons.
Well, actually, there are some episodes where. Don't you remember the episodes where she goes along with them most of the time and then only decides, wait a minute, busting at the very, very end? And even then, I'm sure there are some subversions. Because Phineas and Ferb loves subverting itself.
Because that was the most... It was almost so bad I wanted to stop watching the show. It was like, everything else seemed to grow or recognize its place as the background. but the Candice thing just felt so dead to me.
Also, we kept having to jump through so many topics in this one episode. Like, I feel that neither of us got to say all that we
Oh,
wanted to
I had
say.
so much more to say about Ben 10. And
I
Be
had
Cool
so much more
Scooby-Doo.
to say. And just like about all of those concepts and everything. It's a bit frustrating, honestly. But what can you do? You have a limited amount of time each part.